What's going on, YouTube? Another knife review here for you. This is of the XM-18, Hinderer XM-18. These are the 3.5-inch blades. This is video that I guess has been long in the making, and I just haven't posted it. I actually made one a long time ago, and I never posted it because I think some of my views have changed on the Hinderer. And so after some time and after having handled them and acquiring different knives and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I've been able to give a more comprehensive view and impression of these Hinderers. And that's, when I say that, I really do mean for the most part all in the positive. So over the past maybe month or 2 months or so, I've been able to get these two Hinderer XM-18s. This is a non-flipper version with the translucent green scale, which I really like in contrast to the titanium. And then I was able to get this one with the full titanium textured scale. It just kind of just shines in the light. It's just a really beautiful, very elegant knife. Both are stone washed on the frame lock side, and this one comes in a stonewash, and this one stonewash Duratec 20CV, and this one as well is this one is the CTS-XHP stonewash, and with the Sponto grind. And this one right here has got the Crine regrind. So if you guys have been following my channel, you guys have seen these knives a number of times already in showing. And I've talked about them kind of in passing, but I haven't really done a full-blown review. There's a ton of reviews out there already on YouTube, and definitely worth watching. But yeah, these are just my impressions of these knives. This one with the Crine regrind is just beautifully done. This is also my first knife with the Crine regrind, and Tom Crine just does some amazing work with his grinds. It's just it's totally symmetrical. Perfect grinds. He kind of adds to the swedge on this blade, turns the Sponto into a slicer grind, but not quite as steep of a grind like the Hinderer Gen 4 slicers. So I really like this style grind, actually more than Hinderer's slicer grind. So anyway, these are both Gen 3 XM-18s. If I understand correctly, XM-24s are still Gen 2. But similar, it has the little stop pin when it's closed with the XM-18s. So really quick measurements up against all these other knives. Sebenza. This is the Hoback Custom A10. These are all 3.5-inch blades. This is a 4-inch blade. Strider right here is a 3.5-inch blade, so it really measures up against the Hinderer pretty well. And then you've got the ZT. I'm just going to take the Sebenza out here. The ZT with a 3.5-inch blade, and then the 560, which has a 3.6 or 3.7-inch blade. I'm not sure, but the 560 really measures up against the XM-24 a lot better, and then the ZT measures up with the really the non-flipping XM-18 3.5-inch. So you can really see. I'll just move the Hoback out here so you can kind of get a taste of what these knives are like compared to these other knives. When it comes to Hinderer, Hinderer is just, and for the knife collecting community, when you say Hinderer, the name exudes quality. It exudes hard use, and the common kind of mentality when it comes to Hinderer is that you get the hard use knife of a Strider, and then you get the fit and finish of a Chris Reeve Sebenza. You kind of put them together and mate them together, and what you get is a Hinderer. And I can really see where, why they say that, especially in the past, with Striders and their history of blade play and fit and finish issues and all that kind of stuff. you know, the Hinderer really is that happy medium. Not even the happy medium. It's the perfect blend of both the hard use and the fit and finish of the Sebenza. You know, every single one of my knives that I have here, whether it's the flipper, whether it's the non-flipper, you know, it flicks out. Not here, of course, but you know, it just flicks out effortlessly when you know using the thumb studs. Flipping wise, you know, with this knife, it just flips perfectly. It's perfectly centered. These are some of the most comfortable flipping knives that I've had, and lockup is rock solid. Absolutely no blade play, vertical or horizontal, in any which way. The XM-24 is just the same, flips just as fast. It's just a heavier blade, but it flips out with such authority. You know, without any like assistance, whether it's a speed safe or you know something like this with the KVT, you know, it honestly flips just as fast, you know, than the KVT. The KVT's got that massive detent and all that kind of stuff. Hinderers are actually kind of notorious for having little detent, but you know, this one, well, I can check it out pretty easily. Yeah, so but even without that detent, it flips out so easily, and even like vertically like this, I can my angle is not good, but I can, you know, flip it out pretty easily. So 560, I'm sorry, 551 as well. You know, just flips out, you know, with relative ease, but it's not nearly as smooth as the Teflon washers, you know, found in these Hinderers. Overall ergonomics, whether you're talking about the XM-24 or the 18, you know, you'd be hard pressed to find a knife, you know, that has this kind of quality, has this kind of fit and finish, and has this kind of, you know, ergonomics. Every single knife, you know, outside of the Hinder, you can, I don't know, you can find little like bits and pieces and flaws and all that kind of stuff. With the Strider, I don't know, with the new lock geometry, you know, this is a really comfortable knife, and it's extremely light, you know, at 4.4 ounces. This is a very, very light knife. I would never have said that in the beginning of my collecting phases, but the Strider is such a comfortable knife. You know, with the new lock geometry, I'm really hoping that it sticks out and it's not going to develop blade play and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, here's hoping. You know, with the Sebenza, you know, for me, the only knock that I have on it, and you know, it's meant to be an EDC, so it's probably not fair for me to make that kind of judgment or assessment. But you know, I wish it had a slightly thicker blade. You know, but people that, you know, really like this as a slicer, they're gonna rail me for saying that. But you know, this is a knife that I couldn't use in a hard use setting. I mean, it's probably gonna stand up just fine. But to me, the Sebenza, even though, yeah, in Zulu it means work and all that kind of stuff, to me it's still a, you know, a gentleman's knife. It's a great gentleman's knife, a great EDC knife. It's going to be able to take care of pretty much, you know, pretty much all the tasks that you need to take care of in a normal use day. But it's such, to me, it's such an elegant looking knife. You know, the lines on this knife, the ergonomics are great. You know, it's very streamlined, very straight. That's what I think about when I see a Sebenza, or when I carry my Sebenza. You know, but a Hinderer, I just feel like you're able to mix in a lot of, you know, you get the fit and finish, you get just the brutish, like, thickness and beastliness of a Strider, or what you would think of when you hold a Strider, you know, and yet you're able to get something, you know, that's very elegant. You know, I would have no problem carrying this, you know, as a formal carry knife, even though it's a beast, it's a tank, you know, thick blade stock, you know, thick titanium slabs, stone wash, you know, nice bull pivot, and you know, thick pocket clip and good retention and all that kind of stuff. You know, this, I always say that the Sebenza is the quintessential, you know, EDC knife, you know, and it's still, I still feel like this is the knife that, in which every knife is compared to. But the Hinderer, as they, you know, kind of, not collaboration, but you know, the perfect blend of the Strider and Sebenza together, you know, I think it makes for the perfect, like, kind of like all around use knife. You know, I could take it to me camping and it's going to hold up. I can take it in formal use and it's going to look good. I can take it for everyday EDC and it's going to slice just perfectly. You know, especially this grind, regrind, and all that kind of stuff. You know, so anyway, you have that. That was kind of a long spiel of, you know, one of the sides of the hinder that people think of. You know, one of the other things I think people think of is the price. You know, if you are an EMT or fire fireman or a police officer, or if you're in the armed forces and all that kind of stuff, you can order direct from Hinderer and get one of his knives for as cheap as a Sebenza or as cheap as a Strider, which in my mind is ridiculous. Not that, you know, those who are serving can get those prices, but to get that quality of a knife at that price, you know, this is kind of the perfect knife. And the secondary market, you know, in terms of, say what you will, you know, in terms of the way they hike up prices and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, in terms of the demand and for the quality that you get in this knife, I really feel like in some senses it's justified. It makes sense why a knife like this, you know, can get so stinking expensive. And it does, you know, it definitely does get expensive. I mean, you're talking about anywhere between $600 to $1,000, you know, $1,200 sometimes, depending on the format of the knife or if it's custom grind or whatever. So, you know, some people are going to look at that price and just completely balk and just, you know, why the heck would a knife cost that much money? But, you know, when you hold it in the hand and when you carry it, when you use it, you know, ergonomics are perfect. You know, the feel of it's perfect. The jimping is perfect. The grind is perfect. You know, the flipping, the fit and finish, and everything in general is perfect. You know, and so in some senses, you know, as a knife collector, it makes sense. You know, why these knives would demand such a high price. You know, so anyway, I'm kind of just going on about this. The XM-18, really, the XM-24. They are all just amazing knives, and what Rick Hinderer is doing in Ohio and the quality of stuff that he's putting out is really unlike anything else in terms of knives that I've collected. You know, and don't get me wrong, you know, there's customs, you know, like my Kirby Lambert here. They're amazing quality, you know, and such smooth knives, but in terms of like just workhorse knives, you know, Hinderers are it. You know, they can pretty much withstand anything that you're going to throw at it, for sure. So anyway, I could just go on forever, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, if I'm completely off, or what you guys think about Hinderers, especially if you guys own them, you know, how you guys have used them, and yeah, what your impressions are of the Hinderer as it compares to, you know, Chris Reeve or Strider and all that kind of stuff. You know, these three really are the, you know, the big three. They're the triumvirate of the knife collecting community, for the most part. And you can throw in Emerson kind of to the side there, and then you have all the production ones. But for the average collector, as they're building up their collection, you know, these are really the three that they have to go through, they have to try out, and all that kind of stuff. And you can talk about all the different variations, you know, between, you know, SMF, S&G, small Sebenza, large Sebenza, XM-24, you know, they're all just amazing quality. They're all amazing knives in their own right. So, yeah. So anyway, there's the Hinderer XM-18. This is my grail knife right now, I think. I got some customs that I really love, and they're also grails, but this one right here in the middle is definitely kind of the one that I always aspired to get growing in this knife collection. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. You guys take care. Bye.